Hey there, this lab is the Expanding Universe Balloon Lab, and I'm going to be showing you how to complete your data table. First off, make sure you have partner 1 and partner 2 here listed in your table, so I'll know who to give credit for. If your name is not in these tables and you receive 0, blame your partner, not me. So you should have your data table filled in like this with datas for the 0 through 3 seconds, or 9 seconds like this. Make sure your data is not matching mine, because if your data matches mine, I'm going to assume you just copied from this video and did not do the lab yourself. You'll get a 0. So first, I'm going to start with averages. All right, we've been over how to take averages. So a very brief refresher is you start any formula by clicking equals and then typing in what you're trying to do. So average, I'm going to click average here. So it's going to now ask me, what do I want to find the average of? I'm going to click and drag and select the entire group of numbers that I want to collect the average of. Hit enter, and it has calculated the average distance between all these points. What I'm going to do next is a cool little shortcut that is going to be very, very handy, so please pay attention to this. It's going to save you a lot of time. So when I select this box, you should notice that there is a blue square in the bottom right corner. There's a blue square right here in the corner. Hover over it, and your mouse should turn into a little crosshair. Click and hold down, and then drag all the way over to column E right here, and let go. Boom. It automatically calculates the formula for you in each cell. So it's assuming that you're going to follow the same trend that you did in the first column, and it automatically calculates that in all the other ones, which is fantastic. So if you look at column D here, it is taking the average of D3 through D6, which is exactly what you want. In these two columns here and here, you're going to have zeros because you don't have any numbers in there yet. But what's awesome is as you go through and do this, it's going to automatically update that number, calculating the average speed for you as well. So speaking of speed, here's how you do that. Google Sheets can do math for you as well, as you've noticed. So you can tell it to divide, multiply, add, subtract different cells just by typing it in. So the speed of any object is calculated by dividing the distance the object went divided by the time it took. So that's what you're going to be doing here. We're going to hit equals. The distance the object traveled, or the distance that your balloon expanded, is 4. So I'm going to click equals. I'm going to click exactly on this cell, and you should see an orange number pop up, orange letter and a number. The sign for division is a slash, and I want it to divide it by the value that's in the A4 cell. A4 is 3. So it's going to tell the computer, divide B4 by A4. So you divide those numbers in the cell, hit enter, and you'll get 1.3 for mine. And as you see, your number down here for the average automatically updated, which is pretty cool. So when you do this, this helps you go a lot faster than typing it into a calculator. So now you're going to do that same trick I did down here for the averages by clicking on the blue square. So you hover, you need to make sure that it is a crosshair before you go. So I'm having a little bit of trouble finding it, and there you go. Click, and I'm going to drag this down to the 9C6 and let go. So you can see that it automatically calculated that for me, and it's still automatically calculating the average as well. Pretty awesome. Just by putting those numbers in there. So that calculates the speed too, because it's saying I'm going to divide B5 by A5. If you click on it, you can see the cells that are performing the action. It will be highlighted in different colors. Good. All right, so come over here. I'm going to do the same thing. Equals. I'm going to do this time the distance between B and C divided by the time, which is all the way over here. So it should be D4 divided by A4. Hit enter. Then you'll calculate that for you, and then click the square in the corner and drag down to E6 again, and it automatically updates and calculates the averages for you. Make sure you're always ignoring any autofill things that pop up. If you do one of these actions and it says here, autofill, make sure you always ignore that, because it's normally not going to guess the right thing for you to do. So when you do this, you should have your data table filled in now. All right, should look something like this, nice and neat. So what you're gonna be doing now is I want a graph but showing me the speed and the time. So how does the expansion, the speed that these objects are expanding, how does it change the more time you pump into the balloon? And that's supposed to simulate the universe's expansion, how these objects are speeding apart from each other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the whole first speed column, okay? Don't select the averages, just what I have here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna hold down the control key and you're gonna select the elapsed time column here as well. If you try to do that without holding down the control key, you're gonna lose your selection every time you click again. So when you hold down control, what that does, it tells the computer to hold this selection while I select something else, okay? So what you're gonna do then is you're gonna go up to Insert, Chart. All right, this is different from the Explore function in the bottom corner because you want a specific chart here and you don't want to let Google just try to guess what you're doing. So when you go down here, what you're gonna do is you're going to change the chart type to Scatter. Then you're gonna go down again and you're gonna click on X-axis right here. And you want the X-axis to be the time and the series to be the speed. Okay, because the X-axis is your independent variable, if you remember that, and you want that to be true. So you should see 3 dots like this because you're blowing into the balloon 3 separate times, and you should see them making some sort of shape again. Also down here, select row 2 as headers, and then this is it. So what you're going to want to do now is I'm going to resize this so it fits nicely down here. All right, and this is important. Make sure you're paying attention to this. I'm going to now change the title of my chart so that it tells me what I'm seeing in this chart. So up top, you're going to click Customize and go to Chart Axis and Titles. So right here, you're going to select Chart Title. And that what you're showing here in this chart is the speed of expansion versus time. So as time goes on, how does the speed change is what we're looking at. And that's also called the acceleration. We'll get into that stuff later in the year. So you're going to do speed of expansion versus time. And as I do that, you can see that it pops up on the title right here. All right, and then I want you to do the horizontal and vertical axes too, so you know what you're looking at. So the horizontal axis is the x-axis, and that is the time. So I'm just going to type in time, and then I'm going to select vertical axis from the drop-down bar again, and this time I'm going to do speed. Expansion. All right, now I'm done. So you can see what my nice graph looks like here, and you can make out images of what's happening to the data as it goes. Okay? So then I'm going to do the same thing for the speed of expansion between B and C and the time. So same steps. All right? I'm going to select the speed column, hold down the control key, select the time column. Do not include the averages. We'll go to Insert, Chart. When you're looking for the chart type, switch it from column chart, scroll down, look for scatter plot. All right, when you see the scatter plot, you're going to continue to scroll down again and switch the x-axis to time units and the series axis to speed. All right, and then include row 2 as headers. And you have another graph. You can see my 1 dot up there, 2 and 3. And then I'm going to go over to Customize. I'm going to go to Chart Titles. And this one is Speed of Expansion B to C. And then I'm going to change the horizontal axis to time again, and these might be automatically there for you, like you can see mine are. A vertical axis is as you can see, as I'm doing this stuff, it's filling in nicely for me. I'm going to shrink this down so it fits right here. And now you got two graphs. You have the speed of expansion, all right, going from, I should probably change this one to A to B. So I can do A dash B. That way I know when I go to grade this, I can see what you're doing exactly, which chart is which. And we're going to come back to this and talk about this and what that means. We're going to talk about this and what that means. And you're going to need to know the average speeds here as well. So this chart, and your averages are probably the most important thing because we're going to be using them in the post-lab analysis for your data. And that's how you do this. So this is what you'll submit. Make sure you have your partner's names. If any part of this went too fast or you're confused, please go back and make sure you pause this video and go step by step with me as you do this. Okay? If you have any questions, please reach out, but please try this first before throwing up your hands and saying, I don't know what to do. Okay? And I'll see you in class.